who've actually rolled up their sleeves and actually gone ahead and designed challenges, innovation challenges. So I'm delighted to welcome Nicole Dana. She leads the Impact Challenge initiative for Google.org. And so we'll hear from her. We also have Anne Molin, who is founder and secretary general for Hack for Earth Foundation. And then we'll hear also from a really young innovator. So we'll hear, so the two perspectives we'll hear from Nicole and Anne are how to design challenges. And then we'll switch to Zahir, basically. He is probably the youngest person that we've had share to join webinars. He's, I think, still in high school, right, Zahir? So he will share with us what it is to be a young innovator. What is it that you look for when you actually submit an application to an innovation challenge? And what would you like to see challenge organizers to actually put in that package of support? So we'll switch and we'll hear his perspective. So I will keep quiet, and I request all of you to, if you don't mind, muting yourselves while our presenters talk, but please feel free to energetically join through the chat function. And then hopefully in the end, we'll have some time for just an open discussion, question and answers. But just as you go along, if you think you want to ask the presenter a question, just pop it in the chat and I'll try and monitor that as well as I can. Okay, with that, over to you, Nicole.
Great. So hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm really thrilled to be here. I lead our Google.org Impact Challenge at Google. So I just want to start with a bit of context on Google.org and our Impact Challenge program, and then I will walk through one of our most recent challenges as an example. So Google.org is Google's philanthropy. We support social innovators who are tackling some of the world's greatest challenges by providing cash grants. We've invested over $1 billion over the last 5 years in kind grants like donated ads that help organizations connect with potential donors and inform people of their services, and then also volunteer tech experience from our employees. And as Google.org, we fundamentally believe that the best answers come from those closest to the problem. And our Impact Challenge program, I think, really embodies this philosophy. So the Impact Challenge program, which we call the GIC for short, is an open call for ideas, usually centered around a specific problem or supporting a specific community. And nonprofits and social enterprises apply. And then the best and boldest ideas are given a package of funding, mentorship, and technical support. And over the past decade, we've hosted 40 challenges, ranging from topics such as climate to AI for social good. And I think we've seen 6 continents at this point. So we've done...
Nicole, are you trying to share slides? Because I don't know if all my colleagues can just see a blank screen and I'm the only one who's... Are you running through slides that we're supposed to see? Or
we have one slide up now, just a cover slide. I'm able to see it on my end. Are other folks able to see it?
I cannot, but I don't know if the others can. Oh, sorry. Then maybe it's my network that's the issue.
We cannot see.
Oh, okay. Nobody can.
Okay, let us try to continue that. Maybe we'll pull them up again. There's just one opening slide up, so we'll reload it, but haven't missed anything on the slides yet. Is that better? We just pulled it up again.
I can't see it, but maybe it shouldn't stop you. Why don't you just go ahead?
Okay.
I think you can't see it. I'm seeing others also say that they can't see it either.
Great. I will just continue with the voiceover. The slides are more just like a visual clue. They don't have a ton of content on them themselves. Okay, great. So picking up where I left off, we've hosted over 40 challenges over the past decade in a variety of locations, and we've awarded over $175 million US through this program to more than 470 organizations who are really change makers in their own communities. So with the goal of learning from each other today, I'm happy to walk through the process of a GIC using our most recent program, which was the Google.org Impact Challenge for Women and Girls as an example. So specifically, I'll chat about first, why we created this impact challenge focused on women and girls. Second, the process we took to run this challenge. And then third, some of the budding results and the impact. So I'll start at the beginning, which is the why. So at google.org, when we think about a problem, we like to start by looking at the data. And if you look at the data regarding progress for women and girls, you see a really clear pattern emerge. We've made progress, but it's been uneven, frustratingly slow, and equality is a long way off. So looking back at the past decade, we've seen some progress realized. More girls are in school than ever before. Women are working more than ever before. But these improvements are fragile, and we saw that COVID represented one of the greatest threats to them that we'd seen in our lifetimes. We saw women being twice as likely to drop out of the labor force and lose their jobs as a result of COVID-19. And while children around the world dropped out of school, that rate was much higher for girls, and girls were less likely to return to school after the pandemic. So we knew it was clear that we needed to take action, not only to get back on track, but to correct some of the bigger issues as play. And we're really focused on getting money towards solutions that put women and girls at the center and making sure we lifted up women leaders in the process. So that's how we came up with this google.org Impact Challenge for Women and Girls. It was a $25 million USD open call committed to funding organizations creating pathway to prosperity. And in these types of challenges, we really recognize the importance of collaboration. We typically don't run our Impact Challenge program alone. For our Women and Girls Impact Challenge, we partnered with Vital Voices and Project Everyone, who are two organizations that played a major role in the GAC by helping us conduct outreach to potential organizations and evaluate proposals. And then in addition, one of the elements we like to bring into this program is this concept of an expert panel. So for this program, we were supported by a panel of 29 women who served as expert advisors and ultimately helped us select the funding recipients. And you will hear from one of them, Amanda Gorman, in a video that we're hoping to show in a bit. So together with the support of our partners and our expert panelists, we launched this program in March of 2021. And when we think about the process of a GAC at a high level, the program's made up of 4 big pieces. So the first of it is the launch. The second is our application review and due diligence. Third is our announcement. And fourth is kind of post-funding support that we provide recipients. So I'll go through kind of stage by stage what that looks like in practice. In the preparation for the launch, we created an open call application process. So nonprofits and social enterprises and academic institutions from around the world could submit their ideas. And we really wanted this application to be accessible to as many organizations as possible. So we did 2 things to enable that. First, we created a shorter application to reduce the barrier to entry for applicants. And then second, we really leaned on our partners, Vital Voices and Project Everyone, as well as our kind of internal Google comms and marketing colleagues to really get the word out and encourage organizations to apply. Another thing that we did was after we launched, we hosted virtual workshops to support applicants in applying to the challenge. In these workshops, we offered best practices. Folks interested in applying were invited to ask questions and really kind of spotlighted what we were looking for in an application. And then we started seeing the applications come in immediately. We were really blown away by the response. On the day the applications closed, we had received nearly 8,000 applications, which was the largest volume we've ever received. And we worked with our partner, Vital Voices, to start reviewing these applications right away. At the same time, we realized that having such a large volume of applications was really unique, and we wanted to share our learnings with others. So we partnered with the Global Institute of Women's Research out of King's College in London and The Economist to look at some of the trends we were seeing in the applications and then share them with other folks that were working in this sector.
The extreme events like the one presented here. So this is one set of
This exercise was really meaningful, and it helped us better understand the needs for funding in this space, and allowed us to look at this issue from multiple angles, like different focus areas and how those varied by geography. Let me just call out a couple things that were interesting that stood out for us. I would say first and foremost was the different regional trends that we saw. So we saw a really strong focus on technology and providing pathways to technical careers. In Latin America, more organizations in this region focused on this compared to any other region. And in Asia Pacific and in Africa, we saw a really strong emphasis on removing cultural barriers that women and girls face, like attitudes around girls' education or stigma around disabilities. And then finally, through rounds of application review, interviews, and then some additional due diligence, we announced our 34 recipient organizations in November 2021. The 34 organizations come from 19 countries around the world. I will just highlight a couple of them. So, and how they're using technology. So one of our recipients was an organization called Swatlim, who is based in India. They're building an app which doesn't require an internet connection, that provides skills in math, science, and financial awareness for young women and girls. You can go to the next slide. Asociación Colnado in Colombia is connecting rural women entrepreneurs to the internet and each other through cohort programming and mentorship. Girls Inc. out of New York City is building a financial budgeting app for girls of color from low-income households. And then Project Aquila in Rwanda is creating a pipeline of formal economic career opportunities for rural women with over 200 corporate partners that they work with. So I could go on and on about our recipient organizations, but hopefully this gives a little preview of the types of organizations that we selected for this cohort. We have a 2-minute video. Let's see if we're able to play it. If not, we can skip it and I can wrap up. Okay, I'm gonna continue. So to wrap up, we're only 6 months into our 36-month grant period. So some of the quantifiable impacts are to be determined. However, one thing we do is we ask, where can Google and Google.org really uniquely contribute through our knowledge and expertise and resources? So immediately after receiving funding, we began a 4-month capacity building training program for the grant recipients. And over these 4 months, recipients attended workshops focused on things like setting objectives, storytelling, and fundraising. And they also received access to a team of dedicated Google employees as mentors. And these Google employees were really able to provide customized support to help recipients tackle some of the challenges that they were facing. The program just ended a few weeks ago, but we're starting to hear some of the budding impact from the program. Just to highlight a few examples, one of the recipients participating in the program was able to double their membership base to serve more recipients of their program in the US. And another was able to onboard to Google Cloud Platform, which allowed them to automate a transcription process used in their services that was previously completed manually. So we're excited to see some of these impacts coming out of the accelerator program, and looking forward to seeing all the organizations accomplish over their 36-month grant period. I will end with that. Thank you again for having me today, and looking forward to the Q&A portion later in the call.
Thank you so much, Nicole. And just one quick question from me. If you were to do this again, is there any one thing you might do differently?
Yes, that is a great question. And we're really excited to build learnings from this program into our future impact challenges. You know, this was our biggest impact challenge to date and had a truly global scope. And while I think that had a lot of advantages, I think if we were to do this again, we would probably segment the program regionally. So we know economic empowerment looks very different in different parts of the world. And practically, when we're going through the kind of like the post-funding support, having a cohort of 34 organizations who have different focus areas and are at kind of different stages in their journey makes it pretty difficult to deliver programming that's equally as relevant to everybody. So I think in the future we would divide into smaller cohorts, probably regionally, but perhaps based on specific focus areas within economic empowerment.
I mean, I think that's a fair point. But on the other hand, you know, sometimes global programs, the beauty of a global program is also that you might be able to, people from Latin America might be able to learn from a similar challenge initiative in Asia and vice versa. And there's some interesting sort of lesson there. And maybe regionally is one way to dice it. The other way to dice it might also be, I'm just thinking aloud. I mean, you're the one who actually did the whole work. I'm just thinking aloud. I mean, the other way to dice it might have been to even narrow it down further from, I mean, you look broadly at women's empowerment, but there are so many different aspects to it. I saw that you had one initiative on financial inclusion, another one on access to internet. So, I mean, those are very different types of challenges. But anyway, super interesting. I'm sure we'll come back to it in the Q&A. So thank you, Nicole. Maybe over to you now, Anne.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Can.
Perfect. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. And thank you, Nicole, for that very inspiring and interesting presentation on what you do at google.org. Thank you for that. I think, okay, we'll wait a few minutes with a video and I'll just start presenting myself. If there was nothing else you wanted to add before I start? No? Okay, perfect. I'm the founder and secretary general of the Hack for Earth Foundation, and I've been working with hackathons as a way of creating innovation for the good of society for the past few years. I started out 2018 working for the Swedish government and then head of Hack for Sweden, which is once a year, and back then in real life hackathon, gathering all parts of society, citizens and of course, public sector and companies and academia all together in one space to create real solutions for Sweden. And then, of course, Corona hit, and I was in charge of the Hack the Crisis Sweden hackathon online, of course, then, and we had participants from 91 countries. 7,500 people joined us for a weekend, I also did Kids Hack the Crisis, a global hackathon for children together with UNICEF. And after working with hackathons for a couple of years, there was one thing that was really bugging me. And that was that it was so hard to make the solutions come to life afterwards. Because in my world, you really have to make the solutions come to life afterwards, or give them the best possible possibilities to do that. Otherwise, it's just like standing in a room full of big yellow post-its at the end of a hackathon. So that was the reason, actually, that I quit my job with the Swedish government and started the Hack for Earth Foundation. And so this is the first time I can do it the way I have envisioned it, which is creating citizen-driven innovation, which is the purpose of the Hack for Earth Foundation, by gathering people through a process we call Dream, Hack, Build. And that entails all of the parts of the innovation process to create citizen-driven innovation. And the real purpose is inviting anyone out there who wants to be part of creating solutions for our future to actually be part of that, because I really believe that is what we need if we are going to create the future that we want and to solve the 17 SDGs. So with this in mind, I think we can watch the video, which explains what we did last year when we did a Hack for Earth hackathon at Expo 2020 Dubai.
The world is facing a lot of problems right now. Or as we at Hack for Earth like to see them, challenges. Hack for Earth 2021 is going to be all about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Water, partnership, environment, health, human rights, sustainable society, education. Through Hack for Earth, more people than ever can contribute to a sustainable future for our planet. Together, we can build the society we dream of tomorrow.
Thank you. Can I have the next slide? Yes, so the overall challenge is the United Nations 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. And that is the purpose of the Hack for Earth Foundation. And what we did last year, that was the last hackathon we did, and that in collaboration with the United Nations and Sweden at the World Exhibition Expo 2020 in Dubai, we invited to a global online hackathon, Hack for Earth. And to create the challenges for this hackathon, we launched a campaign to gather the dreams of people around the world called Dream for Earth. We can have the next slide, please. And the next slide, please. Yes. This is the slide I was aiming for. So the first part of this process that we have is that we gather the dreams of people around the world connected to the 17 SDGs. So basically anyone in the world could go to dreamforearth.com and you can still check it out and you can share your dreams still now and connect it to the future. What are people dreaming about our future? So we collected over 1,000 dreams from 62 countries, I think. And then we analyzed them with an AI tool. And that's how we got a very good view of what people are dreaming about in different parts of the world. And it was very evident that people are dreaming about different things connected to the SDGs, depending on where you are living. If you're in South America, you dream of one thing. And if you're living in Europe or for example, India, you dream about another thing. We took this result and we, together with our 32 partner organizations, we created 5 concrete challenges in each one of our challenge categories. And all of these 7 challenge categories were connected to the SDGs. So they were like human rights, education, partnership, sustainable society, health, water, and environment. So the hackathon itself, since it was a global online hackathon with participants from 121 countries, in total 1,371 teams, thousands of people, it took place during the course of 2 weeks, which is, this is the way a hackathon, I think, is different from a challenge competition because it's all done in one space and time. So we create this community of people who may not have ever met before from different parts of the world, where they work together in teams. And we really encourage the teams to be mixed from different backgrounds and different competencies and different nationalities. So actually many of the teams were formed during the hackathon. We had a matching tool for this purpose. And that is why several of the winners also have participants from different parts of the world who have never met in real life. And the third part, after we announced the winners and our jury chose a winner in each of the 7 categories, and there was a prize ceremony in the United Nations hub at the Expo 2020 in Dubai in mid-December, and the winners were announced. So all of these 7 winners were entered into our customized acceleration program. And this is actually the part that I'm most proud of, because it's the very first time I've been able to do that. And that was the one thing that was hard to create when I was working for the government. So Build for Earth acceleration program has all the traditional things an acceleration program has. It's lectures and workshops on business and market, financing, how to make decisions and all those things. But also it's a very strong focus on team and building teams. So that's why we put a lot of focus on getting the right psychological trust and structure within the team. Yes, we have the next slide. I'm talking away from my slides, I see. And this 1,371 teams joined the Hack for Earth hackathon last year. Yes, we can take the next slide. Yes, from 121 countries. I already said that. Yes, and these are the winning teams. So these are the 7 winners that are now in the Build for Earth program. They entered the day after the prize ceremony at Expo 2020 in Dubai, which was December 15th. So since then, they have been taking part of workshops and doing assignments and had guest lecturers talk to them every week. And this is for 6 months' time. So we're actually at the very end of this first Build for Earth acceleration program. And the overall winner of all of these 7, the jury actually chose a Hack for Earth award winner, and that is the team Varuna Blue. And as you can see, Varuna Blue won in the water category, and they have team members from the US, India, Italy, Netherlands, and Ukraine. So a very mixed team. And they actually also won the possibility to join us for the UN conference Stockholm Plus 50, which is taking place in Sweden next week. And they will also present at TEDx Stockholm that week. But what is most interesting is the progress of these teams, which of course, as always with startups and making innovation ideas come to life, it's been a bumpy road sometimes. Some of them got a lot of big investments really early on. Others have been working a lot with the R&D and have come really far there. And some have had other possibilities and setbacks, of course, but all of them have made amazing progress so far. And what I've learned during the Hack for Sweden time and now as well is that also one thing that is extremely important is to work on your communication early on and your network. So we've been also part of this program, the Build for Earth program, is to connect them with relevant organizations that can take them further and connect them with investors and others that they need to get ahead. Yes, and we also help them set up their own homepage, webpage, and produce a professional pitch video. They have had pitch training, so they can explain what their solution is about in only one sentence. And yes, this is about the Build for Earth program, what we based it on. So the foundation of the Build for Earth acceleration program is the current available research and data on sustainable innovation, what is out there. And my colleague, Christopher Wernmark, who is head of Build for Earth acceleration program, he's a psychologist and he specializes in digital psychology. He collected all the research and data that is out there on sustainable innovation, and he also made interviews with innovation experts internationally. I think there were 32 innovation leaders he interviewed to get their point of view from the field. And also we used, of course, our experience from the Hack for Sweden government's mission, and also what the current research says about building a team from a behavioral perspective. We can move to the next slide. Yes, so really what it's all about is to optimize the teams to create real impact and to give them the tools that they need to move ahead. And here we have two of the winning teams. The girl is from Varuna Blue team that won with a new kind of bioplastics that's made out of seaweed. And they are setting up production in India. And the reason they're starting there is that there's a ban on single-use plastics going into effect in India on July 1st this year. So that's a good place to start. And the other to the right is building blocks called Resiblock. And they are from Morocco. And they have done really well. They have had major investments, and they have already set up production in several Middle East countries. So that's two of them. And I'm happy to say that the speaker after me is also a winner from the Hack for Earth Hackathon last year. And I will let Sahir present him and the winning solution, Luminous Teen, that won in the partnership category, of course. And we're so happy that he could join us today and present his solution. And yeah, so we're all about creating citizen-driven innovation. And next hackathon we're planning is at COP27 in Egypt this fall. So I'm going to finish there because I think I ran out of time a long time ago.
So, I mean, Anne, I wanted to ask you the same question that I asked Nicole. Before we turn it over to Zahir, I wanted to just hear from you, just if you reflect back on the whole process and you know, just think a little bit about the process that you used in running this hackathon and supporting it. What might be one thing that you might change? Yeah.
Okay.
The one thing that we're changing actually for the hackathon at COP27 is only having one major partner organization, because that took a lot of time and effort and was really difficult. But other than that, yes, we're changing that. I would really love to do an in real life hackathon. It really is amazing when you can meet in person, and to meet online. That's of course it's great that we have learned to do that now. But hackathon wise, it is just so special when people from different backgrounds and with different perspectives come together in a physical space and actually work on a common task, a common challenge together, because something magical happens then. And you can't really create that online. It's just not the same. So I'm hoping we can have more in real life hackathons in the future. That is my key takeaway.
You know, I was curious because one of the things you said, so you went even broader than you know, Nicole. With Nicole, we were talking about, you know, how, you know, women's empowerment is a broad topic, but you went like even broader, like you encompassed like the 17, 18 SDGs. What are your thoughts about the sustainability of these initiatives that you identified? Because it sounds to me, and maybe I misunderstood you, it sounds to me that some of these teams actually came together for the first time, which is actually pretty
Oh, yes.
that you actually enabled people to connect with each other. How is this going to be sustainable? Are these 6, 7 people who came together going to continue, register themselves as a company, or like what next for these people? And maybe just like very quickly, if you can just clarify, and then I want to turn over to Zahid.
Yes, a part of the Build for Earth acceleration program is workshops on sustainability and how to create or integrate a sustainable way of driving your company or whatever setup you have in a sustainable way. That everything you do within the solution is a sustainable way. So it's not just the product is sustainable, but also the way of their setup and how they work is sustainable. They actually have a workshop on this very topic tomorrow with a guest lecturer from an international lecture on SDGs and how to incorporate a sustainable way of setting up your company. So some of them are setting up companies, yes, but not all of them. Some of them are becoming other kinds of projects because maybe they have their solution doesn't like, for instance, the ones that won in the education challenge, they are actually contemplating this right now. Is it best for us to be a company, or should we have some other kind of setup, because they don't want to be for profit? So that differs if they're companies or not.
When I said sustainable, I guess
Say
I
again?
used a different word. I didn't mean sustainable in terms of environment, but I meant sustainable.
Okay, what did you mean? Sorry, I
No,
misunderstood then.
yeah, no. You answered it in the later part of your answer, which is sustainable.
Okay.
The sustainability of the idea. It's
Oh, so how it's going to last? Okay, you mean how it's going to? Yes, that is basically what we're preparing them for during these 6 months, because we are not going to be there for them in the same way after these 6 months. Of course, I'm going to help them, but they won't be in this program. That's why we've told them you really need to set up your company and to grow your own network as you go along, because we can't be there and hold them under their wings for forever. Of course, they have to become independent companies or other entities in quite a short time, because in all honesty, we don't have time.
yeah, exactly. Well, maybe we'll come back to this question again in the end. Let's pick it up in the end again. And I also wanted to just reflect a little bit on the differences between the models that you and Nicole talked about. But before that, over to you, Zahir. We are so excited to hear from you. You might be actually the youngest panelist ever that has joined our webinars. Are you still in high school, by the way? Is that true?
Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
We can
Well,
hear you.
thank you very much for having me here. Yes, I'm still in the high school and basically graduating from high school in 3 months. So yeah, that's the case right now.
Yeah, go ahead, Zahir. You have a presentation to share, no?
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, what I call hackathons is a very good experience for me so far, because so far I have been a part of a total of 6 hackathons, and the best experience has been at Hack for Earth. So yeah, next slide, please. So yes, generally in my case, what I have seen from my experiences so far at hackathons, whenever young people enter this kind of competitions, there are generally 2 cases. Firstly, the participant doesn't have any idea at first. And the second case is the participant does have an idea, but he or she has not started working on it yet. So for the first case, the thing that I have understood from my experience so far is that conversations are extremely important in coming up with different kinds of innovations, because the innovation itself is so broad that it contains different kinds of perspectives. And in my case, my life has been the best catalyst for innovation. So I always remember a quote by Albert Einstein. He said, "In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity." And this is exactly my life, I would say. So I will be talking more about it later on. And the second case is when people have an idea but haven't started working on that. In that case, connecting with people and more importantly, psychological safety enter the game, as I seen from my peers and from all the people I have met in those 6 different hackathons. And the crucial point I want to mention here is that I have felt in every step I have taken that the team is incredibly important. And Anne was talking about it, that the Build for Arts program is specifically focusing on strong teams. So in my personal opinion, this is really crucial to have the right competence in the team. Next slide, please. So yeah, here is a quick takeaway. Firstly, innovation is more than just technology. So this is a really crucial point that we often, I have often met people who have asked me what a hackathon is. So I have always told them, well, a hackathon is a competition that promotes innovation, but they always have a sense that, well, maybe one has to be a tech wizard in order to participate in this kind of competitions, but that might not be true in all the cases. The second is collaboration is the key in this kind of competitions. And thirdly, personal dreams are crucial. As I have said, the 2 solutions I have worked on so far are derived from my own life. So personal ambitions might give a really great push in terms of coming up with different kinds of solutions. And people should not give fear a chance in terms of working on different kind of innovations, because yeah, people dream to be disruptive, and disruptive innovations are generally much more suitable to succeed. And the last point I would try to emphasize on is that listening and talking is really important, because what I have seen from people interacting with each other, listening to each other and talking have unleashed different kinds of perspectives to them that have become crucial in later parts of their journey. So next slide, please. So yeah, here comes the Hack for Art experience. Firstly, it started, as Am said, it started with Dream for Art. So I really love the themes and categories there, because they have meaningfully concluded all the SDGs in those 7 challenges they had. And they had a really good network of mentors and networking events to matchmake between different kinds of people interested to participate. Unsaid about it. And the jury panel was really good. And what I need to emphasize on here is that the submission method might be crucial for different kinds of people. As I have seen from my experience, and I've talked to different of my peers who have participated in this kind of competitions. So in this kind of competitions, people generally prefer different methods that are easier and contain less prompts. For example, there might be a guideline on how can someone submit the idea, but it might be a bit better for young people to come up with different kinds of spikes and adventures in their ideation process if there is less prompts restrictions. So yeah, next slide, please. So yeah, here is a slide explicitly on what young people expect from hackathons. So the first point is it for me? So I would request every organizers who are planning different kinds of hackathons and innovation challenges to clarify it in the best way possible, so that young people understand if the competition is for them, and if there is any entry barriers. For example, I have seen a recent hackathon hosted by a very highly established company. So they had two different challenges, and one challenge had an entry barrier. For example, one needed to know different kinds of computer programming languages, and there was another second challenge which had no entry barriers. So these kind of combinations might be better for people to feel inclusive in terms of participating in this kind of competitions. And yeah, finding teammates might be crucial, because people often face different kinds of challenges in terms of uh, uh, building their networks and connecting with people. So if the organizers can find an effective way that really works and can match make people based on their experience, maybe their choice, and much more, it might be really helpful. So effective networking, yes, as I said, mentorship has infinite value. So I want to emphasize on this, because during our Build for Earth journey, firstly, we were struggling with our ideation, because we have a vision to help eliminate child labor by 2025. So this is a really critical problem, while we are inclined to work on youth empowerment and employment, and specifically economic inclusion. So in these terms of development issues, things often get really troublesome, and mentors can really help with their specific suggestions. For example, in our case, we met an expert from Zalando, and she played a really crucial role in helping us to decide how we can avoid the launch to fear. And we have now pivoted and going to launch in a different kind of way. So yeah, the last point is assistance with the deliverables. So oftentimes, different kinds of hackathons and challenges need participants to submit maybe a video, a pitch. So, and many times people who come from disadvantaged backgrounds, they might have no access to different kinds of technologies, or maybe they will not have the right skill set to make a proper pitch. So if it's possible through partnership that any storytelling company or partner can provide this kind of assistances to those who specifically need them, this might be crucial. And last but not the least, incentives from the hackathons and challenges, whatever it is, really inspire young people to participate in this kind of things. Yeah, so next slide, please. So yeah, Anne talked about it, so I will not be talking about it. Build for Earth, the cherry on top during the Hacks for Earth experience. So what I generally believe is that ideas are really strong tools to make change happen, but ideas alone are often vulnerable. So the kind of support they're giving to all the 7 winning teams are really crucial in the purest sense. So yeah, next slide, please. So here comes the presentation on Luminous Teen, the dream that we hold fast to. So basically, Luminous Teen is an impact initiative where we are focused on economic inclusion of young people ages 15 to 24. So our value proposition is pretty simple. Our expectation is that we will be able to create new opportunities for youth, and we are developing our solution continuously with young people and our target audience at its core. So the basic mechanism the world often follows is that there is often a conversion method that converts a cause to its consequence. So similarly, at Luminous Teen, we are trying to make a conversion happen where young people with the right competence will come to Luminous Teen, and we will help them to convert their competence to revenue. So this is wild journey to create new opportunities, make those accessible to people, and yeah, by the end of at the end of the day, ensure economic inclusion of the local and global youth at large. So yeah, next slide, please. So what's happening at Luminous Teen right now? So as I said, we met a mentor from Zalando, and we designed our new pivot. So now we are going to launch a fellowship program called Thrive Fellowship. This program is for Bangladeshi young people ages 15 to 24 to develop transferable skills, receive intensive support, and secure decent career opportunities. So we plan to involve multilateral stakeholders to take action on SDG 17, specifically partnership, so that we can create more opportunities and we can connect those young people with those opportunities. So the end goal is very clear. At the end, we want to ensure that a new type of social movement is created, where people are emphasizing on early employability and financial independence. And shortly after the first cohort of Thai Fellowship, we are planning to launch growth agencies based on the data we get from this fellowship. For example, if the first cohort of the fellows are excelling in 3 specific kinds of skill sets, we will be creating agencies which will be providing services on those 3 specific sectors of skill set, and we will be employing them in return. So firstly, they will be mentored and guided by those different kind of companies with their career opportunities, and then we will assist them to further develop their skill set, and lastly, they might become our own employees. So yeah, next slide, please. So yeah, this is a call for action for you all, and I generally love to play this kind of game. So we own the hackathon in the partnership category, and we in no way restrict the definition of partnership. So whoever you are, wherever on earth you are currently in, I would love to request you to simply go to your email, and here is my personal email. So it's open to any kind of emails anytime. So just challenge yourself with a specific task. Think how we can contribute to the specific SDGs, SDG 8 and SDG 17 we are working on. So if you are a company or you are an individual, there is always something that you can contribute to. So just send an email and say what you have to deliver to people, whatever way you have to contribute to the global goals, and we can sit together and find out our way, how we can have our journey together. So this might be a bit tough oftentimes, but it's supposed to be really rewarding. So yeah, thanks for your time, and this is the end of the presentation. Thank you
so much. Thank you, Zahir. That was very, very inspiring, and you know, big congratulations for you. You might be the earliest sort of hackathoner. I mean, or the most prolific hackathoner. You said you've participated in 6. That's pretty cool. So you have like expertise in participating in hackathons. That's very, very interesting. Thank you for joining us. So just, I know that we have just a few minutes left. It was very interesting just picking on something Zahir said about entry barriers. When I heard Nicole, I thought that the design was particularly to support two or address two entry barriers. I mean, there were others as well, but the two that stood out the most to me were that you very explicitly built in a capacity building component or a mentorship component by connecting your winners with Google employees. And the second, if I heard you correct, you also followed it up with funding, which is one of the biggest constraints that most people who have good ideas are not able to see their idea take off. So you address those two really big barriers. And an interesting part of your design was that your target was institutions. So it seems you already had an eye to scale already. Like an institution is much more likely to go quickly to scale. At least, I mean, it seems much more likely. Um, Hack for Good, your design was more about the individual. It sounded like that to me. Um, and the two entry barriers, I think that you very, very explicitly worked on, maybe more, but the two that stood out to me was networking, making sure people were networking with others who had a similarly good idea. And also, I think there was a strong communications component in terms of the entry barrier you were addressing. And maybe this is not a fair wrap up, right? I mean, maybe I missed some nuances to what you were saying, but I wanted to turn it back to you. The one quick question to both of you: how much did it cost per solution supported? Like Google supported 34, and I think Hack for Good supported 7, right? 7 winning solutions. How much did it cost, like per solution? Was the one question. And the second, there was also this question in the chat about what support did you provide the mentors? But I think that there was a response to that question. But also there's another question on skills. What skills do you think you incorporated when you worked with the finalists in particular? Like, do you think they learned a particular type of skill, but just being part of your competition? And maybe if you could just say it like in 30 seconds each. Sorry, over to you, Nicole, first.
Yes, I think on your first question, just to be a little bit more specific around the funding that we gave. So we gave these grants from a 25 million USD pool, and organizations received funding ranging from 300,000 USD to 1 million USD. And we really worked hand in hand with the organizations to come up with a budget that would support their project. So organizations proposed the budget throughout the application process, and then we worked one-on-one to refine the finalist budget. And on the second point, on the specific skill point, we partnered with an organization within Google that does this kind of capacity building for startup organizations and tailored their curriculum to support a nonprofit audience. So the skills that are usually included in this type of programs, we mentioned some goal setting, fundraising for nonprofits, storytelling, and communication broadly.
Thanks, Nicole. And over to you, and maybe just 30 seconds. We've run out of time.
Since we are not Google, I started this foundation with my own money, which I'm very happy that I could do. The prize money was 10,000 US dollars for the overall winner. The others we have helped with the power that I have, and that is my network. If connected them, or we connected them with the companies or organizations that they needed to scale and to get investments. So much of the work with the investments they have done by themselves. What was the other question? Please remind me.
No, just in terms of like what might be some crucial skill that you think your participants learned, the finalists?
That it's all about communication and cooperation. And yeah, collaboration. That's what it's all about. And you don't need to be a techie person to change the world. Everyone is needed.
Yeah, no, thank you so much to our 3 wonderful panelists. And I see that I did not do justice to the very interesting points that people are putting in the chat. But we've run out of time. What we are going to do is upload this presentation, the presentation, and also the recording of the webinar on our website. A lot of our colleagues will usually write to us before the webinar and say they want to see the recording at their own leisure. So there are more people interested in this topic than people who were able to participate today. So big thank you, big round of applause, and a big thank you for joining, Nicole and Zahir. It was very inspiring.
Thank you so much.
Continue to be in touch. Yeah, thank you. Thank you all, and have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.